How's it going, team? Corey here again. Okay, as you already know, I told you guys we're going to be releasing a series of videos, and in these I want to make sure that I do cover everything. So as you saw in the last one, I will be reading, I write up a little bit of a script. Actually, some of the team write a little bit of a script, and I edit it to suit me, but I'll be reading a little bit off that one, so apologies for me looking away. I did it in the last video. I just want to address it again because it looked a little bit weird, but I've got all my notes here, so I will be going through this with you guys. Thank you so much for watching the last one. We got 20,000 views overnight, which is obnoxious, but I'm excited to fill you guys in with some of the latest info and news that we have coming out right now. Firstly, the time has come for Pegaxi to evolve as a game. Most of you probably well know that there are major changes coming to the game that are going to introduce skill and strategy to racing and breeding. So in this video, basically what I'm going to do is I want to give you guys an introduction to how skill is going to affect racing and really the inspirations behind all of these changes. We actually drew our inspirations from real-world horse racing mechanics. I know that's probably a little bit of left field for some people, but that's the truth. Now, in the real world, the velocity of a horse during a race can actually be mapped into different stages. So it has an initial acceleration stage, a deceleration into a pacing stage, and then a final burst. The changes that we're going to be making to the racing speed are actually going to follow a similar structure. So basically the stats of the horse are going to be influenced in different parts of the stadium. So the easiest way to look at this is like, you could imagine that a stat could actually influence the top speed after acceleration, or another stat, might change the pacing speed of a Pega. So these stat influenced racing changes are actually the first on our release schedule for the upcoming game changes. Of course, our utmost goal here is to provide balanced racing mechanics. There's multiple ways basically for us to go with exploring this. With different stadiums giving different debuffs and buffs, but I'll touch on that probably more in a future video. For now, the most important thing for you guys to note is stats matter in this update. And the second thing that I want to touch on in this video is a bit of a broader discussion on economy and really what these changes mean for it. We've noticed a lot of discussion actually about the pay to win, and a lot of people touching on this topic with a negative sentiment. The alpha version that you guys are seeing now, that we released, we bootstrapped before we even did our raise, that we developed and you guys are playing now, essentially is more like a DeFi platform over an actual game when you look at it at its core. Now, obviously currently there's no, strategy or controls or anything like that, and that's the reason that I say that. It was basically always intended to be a stepping stone to really get you guys involved in Pegaxi while we were developing the actual game, which we're doing now. And the reality is, guys, it's simply not a sustainable game economy if everyone wins the same amount over a certain period of time. Like, that mathematically is impossible. It's the easiest way to put it. So what we did was, of course, we introduced those cooldowns to delay the inevitable decrease of value over time that generally will stem from everyone having the exact same opportunity to win. Introducing the stat-based gameplay is basically the first introduction of change when it comes to moving away from a sure win independent of skill or strategy to, of course, a strategy-based game. While at the same time, it does add a certain little bit of elements where you need to have a learning curve to be able to really get into the game, and it's much harder to master. But one thing to consider is that when these strategies and people start to master this ecosystem, there's inevitably going to be Pega that are good and more desired, and then for more valuable than others. And on that, on the flip side, some of them will of course lose value because the majority of people don't think they will be fit for the most popular strategy, I guess, the most popular meta. But it doesn't mean that those Pega are useless by any means. Someone could always discover that there is a niche strategy to be able to make those unwanted Pega desirable. And that's basically how the game is played here. That's how you play a meta. A lot of the times, guys, meta is not actually based on the current game itself. It's more so people's preference and how you're going to compete against them. And at the end of the day, our goal has always been to make the game interesting and to make it skill based. I'm sure you guys are more than aware that that was the end goal here. And basically let our users have the possibility to create their own strategies and be the one to dictate winning and losing for themselves. Like I said from day one, we want the most skilled, the most knowledgeable, the people who spend the most time inside the game to determine how much reward they get. It's all on you. We're working ridiculously hard to get this initial update out to you guys. I don't have an ETA, but I'm sure you will see it on the socials. And we appreciate all of the feedback that we have been seeing so far. I know the large majority, if not all of you, are generally pretty happy on the skill-based and the strategy side as well. So most of you obviously knew that it was coming, and the time is not right now as I'm filming, but it's pretty damn close. So it's very, very exciting times, guys. I'm excited for you to see it as well, and I will see you in the next video where we go a little bit deeper. Peace.